In the winter of 1995, at a prestigious university, a sleep study began with a revolutionary goal. But within 72 hours, it would descend into unspeakable horror, leaving 9 people permanently broken and forcing officials to bury the truth forever. The study was simple on the surface. 12 volunteers, all suffering from severe chronic insomnia, would be monitored for 72 hours straight. They were promised a breakthrough cure using a new, experimental form of neural stimulation. The pay was good, and the hope of finally getting a good night's sleep was even better. What the consent forms failed to mention, however, was the true purpose of the research: to map the absolute limits of human consciousness, to see what lies on the other side of wakefulness. The first 48 hours were deceptively calm. The participants, each kept in a separate soundproofed room, reported feeling more rested and alert than they had in years. The lead researcher, a brilliant but ambitious man named Dr. Alistair Finch, noted in his log, "Subject responsiveness is unprecedented. We are on the verge of a breakthrough." The EEG monitors showed healthy, restorative brain patterns. The team was ecstatic, believing they had finally cracked the code to curing insomnia. But on the morning of the 3rd day, the brain scans began to change. And what they showed, no one could have predicted. It started with Subject 4. Her fear center, the amygdala, lit up like a Christmas tree, despite her being in what appeared to be a deep sleep state. The spikes were off the charts, signaling pure, unadulterated terror. When the research team awakened her, she was hysterical, screaming about a tall, thin shadow man that had been standing in the corner of her room, watching her. The team initially dismissed it as a vivid nightmare, a side effect of the stimulation. But within the hour, despite being completely isolated from one another, 3 other subjects described the exact same entity, down to the last chilling detail. There was no logical way they could have coordinated this story. Something was happening. The facility was locked down. The experiment spiraled out of control. 9 of the 12 subjects were found catatonic, trapped in a state of pure, primal terror, their eyes wide open, staring at horrors only they could see. The official report, released weeks later, dismissed the entire event as a case of mass psychogenic illness, a fancy term for mass hysteria. The lead researcher was discredited. The data was seized and sealed under national security classifications. And the 9 broken victims were quietly transferred to a long-term psychiatric facility, erased from the public record. But the question remains: what did they really awaken? This wasn't just about sleep. It was an attempt to dig something out of the darkest corners of the human mind. Something that was supposed to stay buried. Subscribe, because this was not the first or the last time they tried to open this door. And next time, we'll explore what came through.